Hello, welcome to another Tarot by the Moon. It's Tasha here. Hello there. Thank you everyone for tuning in once again. Happy equinox, blessed Ostara, or whatever you prefer to call this time of the year. We are on the equinox day today. It's Sunday. Time of equal dark and light. Now, I realised yesterday that I've gone from equinox to equinox with the channel. So I feel like that's a little bit of a landmark. I'd actually started doing this channel before the autumn equinox, but what I mean is I've gone from an equinox reading to another equinox reading. This is fantastic. The last time we were welcoming in the darker half of the year. This time we're welcoming in the lighter half of the year. So I'm so pleased to be here with you all. I'm so glad you've all stuck with me on this journey as well. It's been absolutely fab. And thank you for sticking and remaining with me. And here we go into the lighter half of the year at Tarot by the Moon. It's so exciting. Also welcoming in Aries season. It's the first day, I believe it's the first day of Aries season. So we're welcoming in a new zodiacal season as well. So it's back to the beginning with Aries. It's all back to the start. I feel with the Aries energy, it's the time of the year where we notice things start to gain momentum. Momentum being a word that's really stood out to me. So I've been thinking about going into this energy, and it's a little bit more energetic. It's a little bit more fiery, to say the least. It's a fiery element. It's a primal, very fiery element. It's fire itself. So the whole Aries thing is gaining momentum. So all of the seeds that we've planted earlier in the year, at Imbolc in particular, around about February time, all of those sorts of ideas, all of those sorts of things, we've started to get emotion at around that time, will really start to gain momentum this month. So, like I said on the last reading, I think it came through on the last reading quite strong, that we need to look at what's growing and where. Yeah, we had the Green Woman, we had the Green Fairy out with a newer oracle as well, and they were all about like looking at what's growing where within yourself and around you, looking at what you want to keep growing there, looking at what you want to nurture, and looking at what you want to weed out. Because this, as I say, this Aries season now, after the equinox, we're really going to start noticing all of those things, whether you want them there or not, are going to start real fast growth. It's really time season of momentum being my key word for this whole thing, which has come to me just now in the last half an hour, actually, before I've come on. While I've just been having a little soak up of that energy, so that's really exciting. And that's like, growth's going to really start, things are really going to start to take off now and everything. Also, the things that maybe we don't want, that we didn't pay attention to weeding out, but we can still have to there's always time to weed those things out, will also start growing. Okay, so be aware of that. Having said that, again, it's all about finding balance. This time of year, equal dark and light comes around twice a year, comes around in the autumn, comes around in the spring, leading us into the lighter half of the year now. So we're going to start looking at what needs being brought back into balance. Today is Sunday, as I've already said. We're in a Scorpio day today and over the next couple of days. So we might still a bit of a watery energy there, a very, very deep watery energy as well. So still adjusting to the Aries energy, the fiery energy. Still a bit of water influencing us. So we might be thinking very deeply about things when Scorpio comes in. We might be thinking very, very deeply about what it is we're trying to nurture, and what it is we're trying to weed out, and what we're trying to bring into balance at this beautiful, beautiful time of the year where everything's in perfect balance. And I mean, we say it's in perfect balance. The truth is, it's in perfect balance all the time. It's as it needs to be. Sometimes we need more of the light, sometimes we need more of the dark. And now we're entering into a time season where we need more of the light, and we nurture that light and that sunshine. So gorgeous day here. Couldn't be more perfect for welcoming in the sunlight and the sunnier times. I've chosen this lovely orange cloth today as well to honour the sun and bring that in for us. I'm hoping to go out this afternoon to the country park. I'm lucky enough to live in the most beautiful part of South Wales. I'm right on the edge of Brecon Beacons. I've got a beautiful country park right on my doorstep, so I don't have to go far or spend much money to be in absolutely beautiful surroundings. So I'm hoping this afternoon we're going to get up to the country park at least and take the woofers for a nice walk around there and appreciate the beautiful green countryside that I live in, and honour Ostara in that way. Now, let's go in with a reading, my darlings. I'm so happy and grateful to you all for sticking with me, as I've already said. I'm so happy and grateful to you all for all of the likes and shares and subscribes that I had from my last video. Please continue to do that. Please continue to understand the subscribe is only a word. It's a word that really YouTube, as I've already said, it'd be better if they said like or follow, because all that hitting the subscribe button will do is it will just notify you when the next episode is coming on, and that is all. There will be nothing else. There'll be no pressure for you, no constant, nothing. You know, I understand the subscribe is quite an ill-chosen word by YouTube, really, and all that it means is if you'll get a little bell that'll tell you when my next videos come along, and you can choose to knock that off in your notifications anyway. But you'll be helping this channel to grow so much, and you'll be helping so many more people to be connected together in this energy. So please consider that if you choose to, and thank you and blessings for all of that, and thank you and blessings to everyone that's sticking with me or joining in with me in any way. This reading is an intuitive reading, it's a collective reading. You don't need to be any particular star sign to join in with this reading. It could be for you. It'll either resonate or it won't. You'll know if it's for you. You'll 100% know if it's for you. Part of it might really ring true. The rest of it might not. You might just enjoy it for the energy of it or the entertainment of it, or you might find that it's spot on. Please get in touch with me and let me know, because I love to hear any and all feedback. Absolutely love it, and I'll always get back to you individually as well. So yeah, all of that being said, let's go in with the reading. Now, I've got 4 sets of cards here today. Last time, I should have done a moon ritual. Didn't do a moon ritual. Got so carried away with my lovely new set of oracle cards there that I was sent that I completely forgot to do some moon ritual, so I'm going to include it in this one. So we've got 4 there that I'm going in with today. Highly unusual, because we normally just do 3, as you know, if you've been following. For any new viewers as well, I do what I call the element spread. So it's split into 4 sections. It's air, water, fire and earth, and the air represents our thought processes and our mind and our mental health and all of that sort of thing. The water element represents our feelings and our emotions and our heart, okay, and how we're feeling about everything. The fire represents our passion, our creativity and our drive and our will to get things done. And then the earth represents actually what's manifesting as we're pulling all of the energy through all of this on the earth plane, in the day-to-day and in the everyday. It seems to be working. It's just a little thing I come up with, and I hope you like it, and it seems to make sense, so I'm told anyway. So, what else was there for the new viewers? Something else I need to say to you guys. Yeah, you can be any sign at all, so just join in, just enjoy, and if you're enjoying, give me a like, okay, my darlings, and a subscribe, okay, that would be fantastic. Thank you so much. So what we always do here at Tarot by the Moon is we just call in the highest vibration of love, and only love into this reading, the very highest vibration of radical compassion and love for all of humanity. For anyone watching this reading at any time will be the right time for you. For anyone involved in your reading, any other people that come up in your reading, only compassion and love. Compassion and love for all of the life forms on this planet, the plant life that supports us and teaches us, the animal life that supports us and teaches us, all of the life forms, things that we don't even understand, life in other dimensions and on other realms, all of it, all connected, it's all divine, and we're bringing in nothing but the divine highest vibration of love, and so it is. Okay, my darlings, so in we go, as we say. Hope you're all doing good. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I hope you're really feeling the energy and the lovely balance that's about at the minute, this time of year. I hope you're all absorbing that and letting it work for you in its own unique way in your life. This is surely well. There's our first card out. Oh yeah, for the new viewers as well, I only ever take the flippers and the fallers from my shuffles. There you go. Okay, my loves. It's just the way I work. It's the way I've always worked in all my readings, personal or collective. And it seems to work for me, okay, darlings? Everyone's got their own unique way. Also, I never show my face in the collective readings because I want you to concentrate on the messages. Okay, my loves, it's not about me, it's about the messages. So let's go in. Right, first card out, the star, the beautiful star. Aquarius. Again, we're in the season of Aquarius. We're in the season of Aquarius, forgive me. We're in the age of Aquarius, but this might apply in particular to any Aquarians watching this, or if you're dealing with any Aquarians in your life at the minute, okay? That wanted to be said very clearly and very quickly, so that's for somebody in particular. The other thing I wanted to explain, that's what it was for you new viewers. This is what I call a microcosm, macrocosm reading. So you might find, and well, we always find, in fact, every single episode, that it applies very much to what's going on humanity on a global, but it'll also apply very much to what's going on personal level in your own lives, in our own lives, and that's because what we're healing in our own personal space, we're healing for the whole of humanity. Never underestimate the power of that. What's going on in the microcosm is reflected in the macrocosm, and vice versa. It's a part of nature. You'll find it in everything. It's not hippy-dippy, it's actually very scientific. And please don't underestimate the power of healing the things that you do have control over on the micro level in our own lives, okay, in our own worlds, and how that spins out into the greater large, okay, my loves? Very important. So the star, love the star, come up in our area of air. So this is where we're at with our thought processes and our thinking and our mental health. The star is a wonderful energy. It's one of the most potent energies of the minor arcana. The major arcana. So sorry, I'm still mixing up my words. I'm still on a little bit of medication, so please bear with me. I mix up my words a little bit. I'm aware as well that I mixed up a couple of words on my last video, and thank you all so much for bearing with me with that as well. This energy, so this is one of the main energies of the tarot, okay? The star is one of the more powerful energies. This energy is all about focusing on something that you really want that seems like a far out dream, or like it's literally that energy of wishing on a star, or like a dream come true, or happy ever after, or it's literally got that fairy tale quality to it of something that you thought you really, really wanted, like your heart's desire, something that you've really, really wished for, really, really prayed for, really tried to bring in, but you feel like it's out of reach, or you feel like you don't quite deserve it, or you feel like it's never going to happen to you. Well, it is when you get this energy coming in. It is. This is something that's going to knock you off your feet. This is something that's going to like make you understand that like miracles can happen, that magic does happen, that good things do happen, that amazing things that will make you just jump for joy can and do happen to people, ordinary people like you and me, okay? Because we're all ordinary, and yet at the same time we're all extraordinary, I like to think as well. So this is something absolutely fantastic. It can also mean literally stardom, so it can literally mean like being put in the spotlight for something, putting yourself in the spotlight for something when you wouldn't normally, and that paying dividends for you. It can also mean associating with somebody who's got quite a bit of fame, or being associated with somebody who's already got quite a bit of a fame or something like that. It can be being recognised. It can mean awards. It can mean winning a cup or a trophy of some kind. Accolades. Those sorts of energies of, wow, I won it, it was me, you know. I don't know why, that's really weird, because we get the star card a lot in our readings. I've covered this one with you, various different contexts within the readings, but I'm being shown now, like the old school, and now this is really old fashioned, but for some reason I'm being shown this, so it must mean something to somebody. I've never been shown this image before. I'm being shown, like the old school beauty queens, with the crown, with a tiara, in the book. I've been shown that. So it's that kind of a feeling, I suppose. It's that kind of a feeling of, wow, it was me. I won. the best at this, or the queen, or maybe you've broken a new record for yourself at something that you're working really hard at, that you never thought you'd achieve, and all of a sudden you're going to get that achievement. Or maybe it just literally is being showered with blessings at this time. This is a time of being showered with blessings of one kind or another. I'm being shown that image very, very strongly, and it's something that we don't have in culture anymore. You know, where somebody's putting a sash on somebody and a crown on somebody, and it's, oh wow, I've won. Literally, you could be winning something. You could be being chosen for something that you never thought you'd be chosen for. You could be finally being recognised for something that you truly are talented at. It could be any number of those things. It could be somebody actually taking notice of you that you never thought would take notice of you. Realising how worthy you truly are of those things. It's coming through very strongly there as well. So it's a time of realising how worthy we are of that, of those high achievements, of that greater awareness of literally each one of us has the potential to be Miss World, I want to say, just as an example. I know it's an old-fashioned analogy, and I don't know why it's coming to me like that, but I always give what I'm getting, never mind what it is, because it all fit in as we go along, and I know you guys will get back to me, and I'll have the evidence of that as well. So it's that feeling of anyone can literally be there. You know, let's realise that, and maybe that is what humanity does need to start realising, is, you know, that is the potential of humanity. We could all have it all. We could all have it all, I'm getting you. We could all have perfect health. We could all have enough, more than enough, to live, you know, sumptuously. It's understanding there. Maybe we're turning a corner with that. It's real strong there. And Aquarius is coming through very strong as well, I want to say there. So either you yourself are relating to everything I'm saying there, and you are an Aquarius, or you're dealing with an Aquarius in your life, I want to say. The next one, moving on, is a Knight of Rods. Beautiful, fiery Knight of Rods. Okay, we're using the Tower of the Northern Shadows today. It's my particular favourite, as my regular followers know. This particular Knight of Rods, he's absolutely beautiful. He's this has come up in our area of water. I'm glad that I chose this deck, because although it's fiery, represents fire, the rods, yeah, as we know. This has come up in our area of water, and on this particular card there is quite a lot of water, which is unusual for a Knight of Rods illustration. If you know your tarot at all, it's quite unusual. He looks very Norwegian. That water is drawing me there. We're in a Scorpio day, deep as well. Like a deep. There's a depth to it, okay? Now, a lot of Knight of Rods energies is very, people call it a player energy, or in and out of your life sort of energy, or, you know, very Jack the Lad sort of thing, if there's love coming into your life. Yeah, don't bank on it too much and all of that. Just enjoy it for what it is. But with this particular Knight of Rods in this particular deck, I do feel like there's more depth there. They're just showing me their water, and that moon as well, reflecting upon it. Okay, which you don't always get in a Knight of Rods energy, but in this particular pack we do. So there's more to this particular Knight of Rods than meets the eye. He comes across like a Jack the Lad, he comes across like a bit of a player, and all of the rest of it, but actually there is a lot of depth to this guy. This one being shown here, and I've never ever really considered that year before. Also, we've just had a glorious full moon, haven't we? I want to say as well, it's like as if he's just reflecting to you the energy that is being cast upon him. So because people expect him to behave that way, he behaves more that way. Okay? I don't know why I'm getting that either, but that's what I'm getting. It's like because people expect that of him, then that's what he does. But if you look closer and you see the hidden depths of this person, you see how beautiful he really is behind the shallow player energy, yeah. There's a lot more to this person. There's a lot more waiting to be noticed and to be nurtured and to be loved. So what you cast onto him is what you'll get back, is what I'm saying. very much as well. So if that's making sense for anyone in their emotional life, it's come up in the emotional section of the reading. It's come up in the heart section of the reading. And you've got somebody like that you're romantically attached to, that you think, well, I can't quite trust them because they're so, yeah, but also that they want to be seen for their deeper qualities as well, which they do possess, in particular this particular Knight of Rods. I feel like it's quite complex character here. Somebody's dealing with quite a complex character that, yeah, he is all that, but also there's a depth to the soul here that's not being appreciated, and as soon as you start to appreciate it a little bit more, you're going to notice more and more of it. I hope that makes sense to somebody. It's making sense to me, and I've never looked at that card in that way before. Spirit's coming through very, very strongly right now. It's also about, again, humanity recognising, how deep these things go, how much power we do have, how much power over what we're manifesting we do have. Because you can either manifest that, you can either manifest the energy of Fly By Night, Jack the Lad, right, and you can use that as an example or a metaphor for anything right throughout life, right? Or you can manifest the energy of this beautiful depth, this beautiful reflective energy that we see here. Okay, and his fiery rod, obviously very phallic, it's pointing up there, very beautiful, very potent, very fertile. But look at the rainbow colours that are coming off of there as well. I feel like that's very healing, If you allow his energy into your life or to become attached to you, people say, oh, be careful of a person like that. They'll be in your life, they'll be out of your life, they'll love you and leave you or whatever. But also, it can be very healing. And sometimes being attached to somebody like that and just knowing that they're like that and understanding that that's what they're like, that can be very healing. You can just enjoy that for what it is. You don't have to fall madly in love and get committed to every single person that you happen to have a dalliance with, do you? You can just take the healing from it. Absolutely. So if that is ringing true with anyone there, I don't know why as well, but I'm being shown a lightning storm. I've got no idea why or how it relates to that, but I've got to give you what I'm getting, my loves. So maybe that's a memory that you have. Maybe that relates to this relationship, this bond you have with this character. Maybe you've watched a lightning storm together or something like that. I don't know. Maybe there's lightning coming across your home right now as you're looking at this reading. I've got no idea. I'm only giving you what I'm getting from Spirit there. But they're showing me very strongly a lightning storm. Okay? And that's it. I'm going to move on to the next one. Queen of Discs in the reverse. I suppose I'll come back to that in a minute. I suppose a lightning flash is, again, it's a really potent image. We do tend to get storms as spring goes on in this part of the country, but not quite yet. It's not quite enough pressure in the air for a storm here right now. But I'm just thinking it does sort of clear the air. Hang on, I'm going to come back to that. I might be asked to come back to that. It does clear the air. Like an old storm, doesn't it? So maybe there's something you really need to speak up about with this character if you've been affected by a character like that in your life, because they put on this front of being all Jack the Lad and love you and leave you, but underneath it all there's this depth, there's this beautiful reflective soul, and there's this depth, this longing to be noticed and longing to be recognised, and that will easily take over the other nonsense if only it's nurtured. Maybe you just need to have a good old chat about it, even if that does escalate a little bit, because there's nothing like a storm. to clear the air. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to go on. That's really strong. Queen of Discs is in reverse, bless her, in her area of fire. Now, when the Queen of Discs is in the upright, she's a wonderful character. She's come up in the reverse today, so we're having to deal with the dark side of our own nature here in some way, or of somebody's nature, a female energy, although it's not really gender specific, but somebody with predominant female energy. And she's not at her best at the moment. When the Queen of Discs is in the reverse, she does tend to come across as very spoilt, very shallow, very vain, selfish. Not nice things for me to sit here and have to say to you, or for me to sit here and have to feel the energy of. Somebody's not coming from their best place at the minute, okay? This is in the area of fire. This is in the reverse. Now, maybe this is where you're getting this clash. Maybe this is where you're getting ambition, this lightning and what have you, and that there's two sides to this night. Yeah, he likes everyone to believe he's all of that, but he doesn't really like everyone to believe he's all of that. But he's all of this as well. And maybe it's I hate to say it, but maybe it's you that needs to look at where your finer qualities are not coming through, okay? When you have figured it out and you have brought yourself back into balance, and don't forget the energy that we're in now, it's all about trying to find balance. It's all about trying to bring yourself back into balance. We can all look around at other people and look around at the world at large and see what's wrong. See what's wrong with this Knight of Rods. Oh, well, he's in and out. You don't know what he wants. He's a player and blah, blah, blah. Seeing what's wrong with the world at large. Easy to do. Do you know what the hardest thing to do is? To look at yourself and see what's wrong. To look at yourself and see what's out of balance. Okay? That's where the real work is as well. That's what I mean about microcosm and macrocosm healing. That's where the real work is. It's easy to look at other people and see what they are doing wrong. It's easy to put the news on and see what's wrong with the world. Looking in the mirror and seeing what's wrong with yourself, that's the really hard bit. And that's the only bit that you've got any control over. You can't control what he's going to do. Okay? We can't control what is going on out there. The only control we really have is what we're doing for ourselves, our own work on our own lives, our own work on our own insecurities and our own misgivings. Now, with the Queen of Discs, she represents security when she's in the right way round. She's the most secure, wise. I mean, there's a beautiful owl there representing her wisdom. Okay, she can make things grow. She can grow empires out of very little. She can rise from being very, very poor to very, very abundant. She can go from having very, very little. She can create so much. She's so creative. She can create so much for herself out of very, very little, out of coming from perhaps a very difficult background or a very, very difficult childhood, or never having many opportunities. This is a person, predominantly female energy, who can turn life around, seemingly miraculously. She's full of ancient wisdom and all of those things. And she represents security very much, okay? But she's often a businesswoman, often somebody who's built up a business from scratch all by herself or something like that, okay? But when she's not feeling happy, when she's not at her best, which, no judgment here, we all are having our times of that, she can be the opposite of that. She can be very insecure. She can come across a bit like a spoilt child at any age. She represents maturity as well, the Queen of Discs. She'll often be, even if she's a very young person, she'll be a lot more mature than her age. But when she's in the reverse, oh my days, the toys come out of the pram. The toys come flying out of the pram. And that's what I'm getting you. Somebody's feeling really off kilter. And I don't say it and I don't bring it up to make you feel worse in any way, shape or form. In fact, I will say, if you're feeling triggered by anything that comes up in these readings, please get in touch with me, and I will always point you in the right direction to get professional help, my loves, okay? But obviously it needs to be talked about, or it wouldn't be coming up in the reverse there. So as far as our passion, drive, mojo and creativity and the area that's come up is concerned in, that's feeling really stuck at the minute, because Queen of Discs, when she's in the reverse, especially in that area of life which is representing our fire and our passion and how we're getting things done, she don't want to get anything done. She don't want to get anything done. She just wants to have a little tantrum until people start playing her games her ways. All right? Which is quite a manipulative energy. And we're being asked at this time of year, like I say, I'm really glad I've come on here today now. So this is the big thing that we're being asked by the universe, by Mother Nature herself to do and to look at this time of year. It's an opportunity for us to grow. It's an opportunity for us to bring those negative aspects of our personality back into balance. Instead of criticising what this Knight of Rods is doing, only he can change what he's doing, all right? You can help him by focusing on his good points or his bad points, up to you. Or just choosing to, let him go out of your life if that's too much for you. Or you can choose to just bring back into balance what you are. Okay? It doesn't matter what you've done in the world. You can't take any of it with you. It doesn't matter how much money you make. She's really good at making money, the Queen of Discs. Doesn't matter. None of that will matter in the end. Doesn't matter what you believed in. Doesn't matter what flag you flew. Doesn't matter. None of it matters. Only matters where you are deep inside. And that's what I'm seeing here. And that's what we need to look at. And like I say, it's a Scorpio day. So I'm not surprised we've gone quite deep there with that straight away. It's gone very, very deep. We're all perhaps looking deeply at our own imperfections, imbalances, faults, and what have you, and what we can be doing differently. So let's give ourselves some love as well. Let's not beat ourselves up too harshly about any of that. Let's just realise that it needs to change, and realise that often, very often, more often than not, it's just the nature of the human experience. We are our own worst enemies. We are our own worst enemies, and we have to get out of our own way for things to progress, for things to move forward. This beautiful star energy that we started off with initially, okay? It's really strong reading and an odd one. I know, every time. The next card that came out was also in the reverse. It's a Page of Swords. Okay, a lot of arrogance there again. Okay, this is what's manifesting now on the earth plane. This is what's coming through our earth element. What we've filtered down through the air, through the fire and through the water. Okay, so not surprised to see a Page of Swords in reverse. Again, it's very spiteful energy. I want to say that Page of Swords in reverse is spiteful. It's manipulating. It's arrogant. Unfortunate that I have to sit here and say this, but I have to call it like it is also. Now, it might not be you, but you might be dealing with somebody who's showing you that, okay? If it's you, you'll know it's you. You'll go, oh yeah, I've been, right, whatever. Or you're certainly dealing with people around you that are displaying these attitudes at the minute. This is about gossip as well. The word gossip comes up with the Page of Swords in reverse. Malicious gossip. And I'm being shouted there. No, malicious gossip. Somebody here is either stirring up, and I don't think any beautiful people in my soul tribe that I'm aware of who follow this channel would be doing a thing like that. I believe that you're all far too wise to be even getting yourself involved in any sort of slagging off energy. But you may be a victim of it at this time. In fact, I'm being shown that somebody here is a victim of this at this time. Okay. I'm really sorry you're having to go through that. It's one of the worst things for anyone to go through, especially when you've got a pure and loving heart and you would never do those things to somebody, and then somebody turns that energy on you. It is very, very unpleasant. I've been there myself, unfortunately, many times, and I'm sure I will be again. because that's just life, you know. Somebody here is spreading some kind of malicious gossip about somebody. Okay, I don't normally get into this sort of thing, as you know, but it's you, so somebody really needs it desperately. Maybe somebody's spreading gossip about this beautiful night. Somebody's jealous. Somebody's very, very jealous, and they're spreading gossip about this beautiful night, okay, who only wants to show his deep side, his true nature, his reflective nature. Somebody's stirring up gossip about this beautiful night, causing you to come off kilter, alright, and perhaps behave in ways that didn't help. There's something like this, of this nature, going on here today. But as I say, it's a perfect opportunity, it's equinox, perfect opportunity for us to call on spirit, okay, call on your guides, call on your higher self, call on your angels, call on whatever works for you, and that'll be the right thing for help and guidance for this, alright, and protection, and I'm sending you all the protection that I can too. You will get through this. This star, don't forget, in this entire reading, as sort of difficult as the energies have been here today, we started off with a beautiful star. It's one of the most positive energies of all. So although these energies are quite difficult that we're dealing with, alright, you've got the star. It's one of the, like I said, it's one of the major positive influences of the tarot, of life itself. Star is shedding a light, star is shining away. Maybe somebody who is very jealous that you are getting notice, that you are getting abundance, that you are getting all those things that we talked about at the beginning with the star. Maybe that would, I mean, the trouble is, success always brings jealousy. When you're successful, or when you're happy, or when you've done the right thing for yourself, there are always going to be people who are jealous of that. There are always going to be people who want to bring that down. Unfortunately, that's just life. That's just part of the human experience. That's just part of how we're all learning and growing. They're learning and growing. If they're showing you that kind of attitude, which is what I'm getting here very strongly, then that's because they still have learning and growing to do, and you've highlighted that to them. So you've done them a favour by doing that. Still doesn't stop you from feeling hurt, still doesn't shield you from that, but it gives you an even further opportunity to grow, like I say. Gives you even further opportunity to shine and show your stuff and show what you're really made of, because you're made of stars, literally, you know. Just gives you an even greater opportunity to show why you deserve all the abundance of the star card. You know, when people start treating you as mean as that and stirring gossip up because they're jealous of your success, or that you've attracted this beautiful Knight of Rods or whatever, that just goes to show that you're on the right track, you know. I'm sorry, I don't mean, I know sometimes I laugh when I'm doing the reading, and I never laughing because I understand this is feels unfortunate when you're in those Page of Swords reversed, Queen of Discs reversed energies, especially from other people around you, but just the energy comes through, and when the energy comes through it makes me laugh, and when the energy comes through and it makes me laugh, I know that I'm on contact with my higher guides as well, might I say. So that all being said, my loves, I'm sending you a lot of love, whoever's relating to that, okay? It's very, very strong. I know somebody going to get in touch with me shortly and explain to me what that is all about. Let's go in with a clarifier. Let's go in with a moon ritual. We didn't do one last time. Let's see what the moon ritual's got to say here today. It's still a very big moon. I mean, it's just starting to wane, but we're still in very powerful moon energy at the minute. Okay. Oh, we did one of those. Excuse my butterfingers there. Now, we're still in a lot of moon energy. We're still in a very potent moon energy phase. Also, we're at the beginning of Aries season as well, so it's very important to see what's going on with the moon energy now as we enter Aries season and we leave Pisces season behind. Okay, card, please, for the viewers. So, there's a lot of energy needs shifting here today. I can feel it. Right, okay. This full moon, I connect with the higher realms and my celestial guides. Well, what did I just say to you before I decided to pick those cards up? Now's the time to call on your guides, angels, higher self, spirit, whatever you call it, whatever works for you. Now is the time to do it while the moon is still fairly full, while the moon is still big and bright in the sky at the beginning of a new season, zodiacally. Call them in now. Call them in at any time, but if you call them in now, it's all the more important. There's so much more energy to it, because don't forget that the moon magnifies everything. So this might be why you're having so much drama around you actually as well at the minute. Let's not forget that simple, I want to say rookie mistake that we all make in a magical sense of forgetting that the moon is very full and forgetting that that does blow things right up. It's a magnifier for all of our stresses and strains. Any maliciousness that's being cast to us, anything like that will take on greater power now, okay? But also will positive things. So focus on the positive things. Focus on what you want more of. Don't focus on what you want less of. It's very, very difficult when you're in pain and you're hurting from people's lies, gossip and malicious behaviour. But if you focus less on that and focus more on what you do want, you'll find it loosens its hold on you. It's the best advice I can give anyone, honestly. So the moon is still very full. So if we're calling on our guides now, the energy of that is going to be so much stronger, okay? So do not forget to do that, because they do need to be called upon. You don't just come in, you call upon them, okay? And you be specific as well. Be specific as you can in what you're trying. What do we say at the beginning before we even turn the cards over here? Be specific about what you're trying to grow, because there's fertile ground. You're on fertile ground now. We're in a fertile time of the year where it's just starting off Aries season. Things are going to gather momentum, okay? Life is really starting to spring up all around us. Nature is showing us that. And it's the same on the invisible planes. It's the same on the spiritual planes. So whatever is growing in your soil right now, yeah, you need to be aware that it'll really take on a spurt of energy now with this moon and Aries, okay? So anything that's malicious or nasty or off balance within yourself or others around you, now's the time to weed it out. Now's the time to weed it out, okay? And don't let it take hold. And now's the time to nurture and encourage the things that we do want in our lives, that we are trying to keep in our lives. That star energy. Let's nurture that. Let's nurture that. We could all do with some of that, couldn't we? Like I said at the beginning, that's the pure potential of each human being. Pure potential of each and every one of us is this. It's that, right? Also points to the winter solstice, the star card, interestingly. And I want to say, the things that we're nurturing now, I don't know why, this is coming to me now as well, but the things we're nurturing now up to the winter solstice, the star represents the winter solstice as well, pay special attention, okay? Because by the time of the winter solstice, you kind of rooted out all of those things that are not serving you, that are bringing you down, that are causing you all of this aggro, and you could have grown the energy that you do want more of, connecting clearly with your spirit guides, having more of that star-like energy, okay? Don't be afraid to put yourself in the spotlight a bit as well, okay? Because you will shine and you will be recognised for it at this time. Just needed to say that. Next card coming up for us, my darlings. Let's do a Fraud Fairy. Let's just do one, because I was just sort of experimenting on the last one with those, and I found I did two of each. Maybe it was a bit of overkill, so I'm just going to do one of each of those oracles today. So just one. Oh, there we are. One's turned over now. Honesty. I love this one. Look at this guy. Honesty. Just absorb that energy a minute. Okay. And then let's do one from the lovely new pack that was lovingly sent to me. Oracles of Shadow and Light by Lucy Cavendish. Just one card for the viewers, please. There we go. Oh, two. Well, actually, two. There we go. I told you, it's nice and organic. You're Tarot by the Moon. Okay, Angel of Time. Do you know what? This is the first one out that I had to work with. And you'll understand why when I read you the meaning now. And Fairy of the Highlands. How beautiful is she? Look like a little Scottish one. Right, now let's see what's coming up with those guys. Let me just get the box out. Okay, Brian Froud's Fairy Oracle. For the new viewers, it's this one that I use. I've used it for many years. Absolutely love this Oracle set. I don't think it's the bomb, right? Literally, I love it so much. It's full of magic and imagination and pure beauty. Let's see what's coming up with that guy there. Honesty. Right. Honesty says, compassion, tact and self-deceit. Honesty in a reading speaks unsurprisingly of the need for straight dealing and truth in representation. We need to be scrupulously honest here, making certain there is no room for confusion or misunderstanding and no fuzzy edges. Both written and verbal agreements need to be completely clear. Assumptions may not well be understood by all parties as we are assuming, and they need to be tested for comprehension. On a personal level, honesty reminds us not only to be clear in what we say and do, but also to act and speak with compassion and tact. Brutal honesty is not usually true honesty at all, but somehow slanted towards the worse. Very true. Dishonesty, even in the name of tact, is not helpful either. Balancing, there we go, on that fine line of loving honesty may make some effort, but will provide you rich rewards. Honest humility, idealism and clarity of mind are some of the advantages of honesty. I love that because this is what we've been saying throughout the whole reading, right? Somebody needs to get real here, okay? Now, I love that, and I often think about this one, about people say, oh, well, I'm honest, I'm brutally honest, me, and that's just the way I am and whatever. Well, no, I mean, this is the truth. Brutal honesty is not true honesty. Brutal honesty is always leaning towards the worst, which is what I was trying to say about that Knight of Rods. Somebody here is going, oh, well, he's, you know, he's this and he's that, he's a bad boy. But if you look deeper, he's absolutely lovely, you know? That's true honesty. Brutal honesty versus true honesty. This is something we all can learn more about. Also when you're dealing with yourself, okay? And when you're dealing with those malicious people around you. The thing is, if you go up against somebody who's really, really malicious and really a bad slanderer and somebody who's determined to pull you down and bring you down, but trust me, I'm sure all of you, you know, with any experience, life and wisdom or whatever will back that up. They are just going to get worse. Okay, but if you go about it with a bit of compassion, even like we said, what I always call in here at Tarot by the Moon, radical compassion, even for those people, even for them, yes, them. If you go in there with a bit of compassion and a bit of tact, you'll find you get a lot more of what you want. Okay, you'll find you'll get a lot more shifting of that energy or blocking of that energy, or it'll have less hold on you, it'll have less track with you. So bear that in mind when you're dealing with those kinds of dishonest, deceitful, shit, stirry, slandery type people, okay? What's that old saying? You'll catch more flies with honey than you will with vinegar or whatever. You know, it's that. Difficult sometimes when we're trapped in those circumstances, but please bear these things in mind. It's very much worth remembering. I'm going to read this little bit as well because it does get a little bit long-winded, all of the reading of it, but I'm just going to read a little piece of it because it's jumping out at me and I feel like I need to. Now I'm going to read what is, I think this is written by text is by Jessica Macbeth. Okay, just look at him. Could you doubt for a moment that he sees you just the way you are? And he loves you anyway. Exactly. So that's what I was saying about that night. See him for just the way he is and love him anyway, alright? And then he goes on to say honesty's other botanical names, okay, in a plant form. You know those little seed pods? They last forever. It's called honesty. It's like a little silver disc seed pod. You often get them in dried flowers and things like that. Represents little images of the full moon. It goes on about that here, and it says, tells you the other names for it: silver dollar, money wort, dollar plant. Goes the other third. Honesty is said to repel monsters. I don't have any monsters handy to check this out on, but I can honestly say that the metaphorical truth in it. He is also known as Unshoe the horse, because of his habit of unshoeing horses who tread upon him. A very fairy thing to do, and who can blame him? He is said to have collected 30 horseshoes from the horses of Earl of Essex on the White Downs in Devonshire, near Tiverton. Let that be a lesson to you not to tread honesty underfoot. So, I've got called there as well. So there's, okay, there's a link there as well. There's a link there. Oh, I don't normally read out a place name like that. Tiverton, Devon. That means something to somebody as well. Okay, let me know. I'm fascinated to hear about all of this. But it does make monsters disappear, literally, because there's a way of dealing with those people, isn't there? There's a way of dealing with those naysayers and slanderers. There's more than one way to skin a cat, as the old saying goes. Horrible saying, skinning cats, I know, but you know what I'm saying. There's a way of being honest. There's a balance to be struck here. There's a balance. See, equinox energy is all about the balance. There's a balance to be struck here. And it's about being honest without being overly brutal, okay? That's going to make that monster in your life disappear. Or it's going to make them melt away and allow their better qualities to come out of themselves. Okay? Could be this guy. Could be him. You could be fed up with somebody's player energy, you know? You could be getting sick to death of it. But if you be brutally honest, you're going to just make you worse. But if you use true honesty, okay, you're going to let that side of him melt away and let that more beautiful, deep side of him come up. You might be dealing with this kind of behaviour with this reversed page and this reversed queen, who are not displaying their best at the minute and causing all sorts of trouble for people who don't deserve it. If you use brutal honesty, you're just going to make things even worse for yourself. If you use true honesty, if you find a place of balance within yourself before you go about even challenging them and ask your guides and angels to come in and help you out, and you go in with true honesty versus brutal honesty, you might find those monsters melt away and loosen their grip and loosen their hold over you as well. I hope that makes sense. Let's see what the other cards were. Very exciting. Okay, it was the Angel of Time. Now, Angel of Time was the first one that I pulled out of you when I got sent these, and I did my very first shuffle. That was the first one I had out, so I shall never forget the Angel of Time, because she did come in, and when I read it, you know, it'll make sense. You'll know where I'm getting at, because I wasn't very well, as you know, and I'm still recovering, and this is what she had to say to me. Okay. The Angel of Time speaks. I'm getting straight to the point here. She's lovely. She's like a little steampunk princess. Look at her. Because somebody really has to tell you, stop giving so much energy to your work. All your time, your energy, your passion. Take better care of your health. This is the time to fulfill all those promises you made to yourself, but barely made even the effort to keep. Meditate, eat well, take up gentle exercise, and change unhealthy emotional patterns that are compromising your well-being. These are the challenges you need to set for yourself. Gaze into a candle's flame, write down one true thing you love about all of your friends, and pay close attention to all the messages your body sends you. Then make the changes you know it needs. I thank you in advance, for a happy you makes this world a far better place. couldn't have been more appropriate for myself. I hope you guys are resonating with that as well. I do feel like it's very poignant. I've been saying in the last few readings, pay attention to how you feel. And now at equinox time, it couldn't be more appropriate. Paying attention to how you feel, paying attention to what needs to be rooted out, paying attention to what we need to nurture, paying attention to how we're dealing with these energies around us that are not in our best interests, okay? Divination message, time for a break from mechanical technical work is needed. Please take breaks from electronic devices like computers and cell phones and even iPods, clocks and watches. It is time to simply rest in nature's embrace, swim in an ocean, float in a lake, walk in a forest, meditate in a cave, go camping, hiking and gardening. It would be most beneficial at this time. It's time to unwind the tightly coiled springs and detach from the mechanics of the deadlines that you've immersed yourself in nature's time and truth. The angel of time tells you to do this now. Okay, so as soon as we've finished up here, I'm getting up that country park. Okay, gang? And I hope you're going to do something similar. Like I always say, if you're feeling that much stress and everything, drop back into your heart space. Go out into nature, leave everything. Everything will still be there for us to pick up and carry on with when we come back. It'll all still be there, but for now, drop out of it. Today, very important that we go out into nature in any way we can. Lots of suggestions there, or whatever it means to you, even if you're just sitting in your garden for a little while. Make sure you knock your phone off, you know? Make sure you just have that bit of me time. What about all these things that you promised yourself that you would do for yourself and you've done none of them? That might be starting a new exercise thing. You know, you might have started some yoga and let it go a bit. You might have started a course and let it go a bit because you've let other things get in the way and whatever. These energies around you, they're not helping, that's for sure. But you know what? We can do this. We can deal with it. The first thing we need to do is drop out. Just knock all of that off, even just for this afternoon or whenever this message finds you. All right? The next available opportunity that you have to do that, please do it. Please don't underestimate the power of it. Please tune into nature and appreciate that you're part of that, okay? It's going to work you wonders right now. The next one and the final one that we've got to look at today is number 20, the Fairy of the Highlands. It's time to be brave. Or will you look at her? Will you just look at her? It's time to be brave. She doesn't look too sure, does she? She doesn't look too sure at all. I love anything Scottish. It's just, look, oh, look at her. She's so bonny. She's holding that sword. Now, you don't often think of a fairy with a sword, because traditionally, I'm pretty sure, right, that traditionally fairies and swords don't go together because they cannot stand the feel of steel, cold steel. There must be something very serious going on if a fairy's wielding a sword, is all I'll say. You can take that whatever way you want. You can take that literally, symbolically, whatever works for you. Let's see what this is all about. I'm going to read the whole thing here, okay? The Fairy of the Highlands does not want to fight. No, there you go. I thought not. She feels it is not in her nature. There we are. She wants to resolve disputes peacefully, but she will fight if it must come to that. And she has shown you now that you too have the means to stand up for yourself. What has this whole reading been about, peeps? Standing up to slanderers, standing up to people's bad attitudes. There we go. Spirits worked beautifully once again, and we're very, very grateful for that. She's shown you now that you too have the means to stand up for yourself, even though you have almost chronically avoided it and allowed other people to take advantage. It is now time for you to take up the sword, step into that part of yourself that knows how to take a stand, speak truth. Wow, that backs up honesty perfectly. And not back down when the threat of a conflict looms. This just backs up perfectly everything we've been saying. It may seem unnatural and wrong and frightening, but this little fairy knows it. But in time, and this giving up of what you have worked so hard for in order to avoid conflict or confrontation is no longer right. Take the stand and hold up the sword. The Fairy of the Highlands will be there with you, And when the threat is over, she will help you to celebrate your victory. I love that. She's going to help you to celebrate as well. So, you know, sometimes that's all you need to do with people who are taking advantage of you or stepping on you or taking advantage of your peaceful nature. The trouble is when you've got a peaceful nature, you know there's going to be people who are going to take advantage of that. But sometimes, and I know because I'm like it myself, and it's like sometimes you think, oh, well, the last thing you want is a confrontation or to stand up to people. You're scared it's going to make you like them in many ways. But sometimes all you need to do is show them that you can. And that's enough to frighten them away.